Hi guys, today's video is about the PPC curve, or production possibility curve. So last time we looked at factors of production, opportunity cost, and the economic problem. I will leave a link in the description below. My PPC curve illustrates or indicates all my scarce resources in an economy. That is my land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, my factors of production, and how these resources are allocated to the production of two products. In this example, I have chosen schools and hospitals as my two products. So I have also indicated 3 points on this PPC curve, point A, B, and C. So my PPC curve illustrates 4 things: choice, scarcity, allocative or productive efficiency, more productive efficiency, we'll look at the allocative later, and my opportunity costs. Those are the 4 things. So if I'm looking at opportunity cost, so I told you PPC illustrates opportunity cost. If I'm moving from point A to point C, we can see that at point A, I can use all my resources to produce 200 schools and 100 units of or 100 hospitals. At point C, I can produce 100 schools and I can produce 180 hospitals. If I move from point A to point C, I am sacrificing 100 schools in order to produce 80 more units of hospitals, or 80 more hospitals. Now, the next thing that my PPC curve illustrates is scarcity and choice, and that links in with my opportunity costs. I have scarce resources, my factors of production are limited, remember our economic problem, and my choice is when I choose between points. So something's going to be sacrificed for something else, linking in with opportunity cost. So the last thing that the PPC curve illustrates is economic efficiency. I spoke about allocative and productive efficiency previously. So in this case, the PPC curve only illustrates productive efficiency. Okay, so to go back, my economic efficiency means that I have productive plus allocative efficiency. So, productive efficiency has to do with producing at my lowest possible costs, or my lowest point on my average cost curve. Allocative efficiency is allocating my resources to where they are most needed or wanted. So those products or services that are demanded, my resources will be allocated towards the production of those. So on my PPC curve, it doesn't illustrate allocative efficiency. Allocative efficiency could be any point on this PPC, depending on consumer preference. That's why we can't just choose one point and say that's allocative efficiency. But the PPC curve can illustrate productive efficiency. Point B would be my point of productive efficiency. Why? Because it shows the lowest opportunity cost. In this case, I am getting 150 units of schools and 150 units of hospitals. So the opportunity cost is very low, linking back to my costs being the lowest. So the less wastage of resources. So I'm getting the best of both worlds in this case. my PPF or my PPC curve. Okay, let's go back to the name. So PPC, production possibility curve, PPF, production possibility frontier. It lies in the name. This frontier basically separates what is attainable from what is unobtainable. So any point, let's make that A, B or C, whatever, they are obtainable points. That means I have resources available to produce at any of those points. So to have those possible combinations of schools and hospitals. But you are wasting resources at those points. You are not using your resources to their full potential. That is the problem with any of those points or choosing any of those points. At this point, outside of the frontier, you do not yet have enough resources to reach that point. You could reach that point by, say for example, getting more skilled labor or better machines, and then you could reach that point. But at the moment, with the given resources that you have, it is unobtainable. So that point I mentioned outside of the PPF, that unattainable point, it can be reached if my quantity and quality of my resources were to increase. So that would result in an outward shift of my curve. But it could also be that I could have an inward shift, meaning there's a decrease in my quantity and quality of resources. Maybe I have a drought affecting my economy, or I have broken machinery or my capital in my economy that results in a decrease in output of these two products that I want. Then there's the case of the output of only one of these products increasing, not both. This could be because the quality or quantity of the resources that are involved in producing this particular product only has increased, not for the other one. In this example, in this case, I have schools and hospitals again, but which one has increased? Or for which one has the production increased for which product? For hospitals, there's only been an increase in hospitals because the resources involved in producing hospitals or hospital care has increased. For example, better doctors. We have an influx of the most educated doctors leading to an increase in the output of hospitals or hospitalization or healthcare. So in this case, education or schools hasn't increased because doctors are not necessarily going to go and teach. Might be, but in this case they specifically allocate their scarce resource labor to the production of hospitalization or healthcare. I can also use my PPC curve to illustrate whether an economy is developed or developing. So going back to capital goods, my man-made resources, my machinery and my equipment, they are used to produce further consumer goods. So it makes sense that in a developed economy they are going to allocate most of these scarce resources to the production of capital goods, because these capital goods are going to lead to the production of further consumer goods, right? But in a developing economy, unfortunately, it's a lot of times it is just to sustain the economy. They don't have spare resources to go and allocate to the production of machinery and equipment. So most of their resources are going towards consumer. So in this graph you can see I've illustrated point P, R and Q. And there's a lovely point A. Point A illustrates or shows depreciation of my machinery. So if my machinery is very depreciated. In other words, the wear and tear on these machines are quite extensive. It means that I don't have a lot of capital towards making more consumer goods. Okay, so I've illustrated A as, and I've indicated 100 units there, or 100 depreciation units, and you can clearly see that point P is a developing economy, or a struggling economy in this case, because they have only 50 units of capital, of which the depreciation, wear and tear is 100. So they have negative capital in the economy, or negative net investment in the economy. Meaning most of the machines are standing there, they are broken down and can't be used. So they can't produce further consumer goods. But at point R, it shows an economy that is not really struggling, but they're still classified as developing. But they are not in a negative in terms of their investment or their capital investment. So they are not better or worse off. Point Q shows a developed economy. So the last name for my PPC curve is my production transformation curve. So as my economy moves along the curve, different combinations of these products are chosen. So that links in again with my opportunity cost, the sacrifice, the going from point A to point C situation. So today I focused mainly on the concave shape of my PPC curve, that exponential shape. But the PPC curve can also be illustrated as linear, so that 1-for-1 combination. So I'm giving up 1 unit of A to produce 1 extra unit for B. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. See you next time. Next time we're going to look at balance of payment. Good old Bob.